सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि Om. We are studying the Adhyasa Bhashya, which is an introduction to the commentary of Shankaracharya by Shankaracharya himself. The commentary is on the Brahma Sutras. So in the Adhyasa Bhashya, we are now studying how Shankaracharya is bringing the definitions of superimposition by the followers of other philosophical schools, and in the end he is proving that these philosophical schools also, though their definitions may be a bit different, they all agree that superimposition is mistaking one thing for the other, or mistaking the attributes of one thing for the other. And we were studying then we saw that there are different schools which call illusion or superimposition to be khyati, that is false knowledge, and Khyativada is the theory of illusion or theory of erroneous perception. Then we saw this adage which is famous and which is easy to memorize, the 5 different types of khyati: atma khyati, asat khyati, akhyati khyatiranyatha, tatha anirvachaniya khyati iti etat khyati panchakam. So there are 5 types of khyati. We saw atma khyati, that is the standpoint of Vijnanavadi school of Buddhism. Then we saw asat khyati. We didn't see asat khyati. We saw that there is a khyati or khyativada called asat khyati, which is followed by the people who are called Shunyavadis of Buddhism. Then we saw there is something called akhyati, which is of Prabhakara Mimamsa. And then we saw something anyatha khyati, which is a standpoint followed by logicians or Nayayikas. And then there is anirvachaniya khyati, which is the standpoint followed by Advaita Vedanta. Now we were seeing the standpoint of Vijnanavadins in the sense of Atma Khyati. So we saw that Atma Khyati means that you externalize consciousness or Vijnana, cognition. You externalize it instead of understanding that to be non-different from yourself. You externalize it, and because of externalization of consciousness, the knowledge which is so derived because of beginningless avidya is called Atma Khyati. That means you are mistaking consciousness to be something, or you are mistaking consciousness to be somewhere where it is not. So you are bringing about a change in the substratum of consciousness. And so what happens, because it is externalized, you can actually see it as this. Whatever we see external to us, we see them as this. So it is called thisness. In Sanskrit it is called idam, means this. Idamta, idanta means thisness. So the consciousness takes the form of thisness. What you are, the subjective, becomes the objective. So the subjective is objectified. So in different contexts we talk about objectification in a negative sense. So here also objectifying consciousness or your consciousness or cognition, objectifying it, and it converts into thisness, idanta. Now this happens because of what? Because of avidya, which is beginningless. And this what is seen is, according to Vijnanavada, Alika means it is non-existent. It is not just unreal, but it does not even exist. So we see something which is unreal and also non-existent. Unlike the standpoint of Advaita Vedanta, where we say that whatever you see is because of Maya, which is a statement of fact. That means you cannot say that it is unreal. You cannot say that it is real. It is not real, it is not unreal, and so it is inexplicable, indescribable. So it is anirvachaniya. Now in this Atma Khyati, what happens is, you see, in 5, the number 5, does 3 is 3 present in the number 5? Yes. In number 5, 3 is present. 6 is not present, 7 is not present, but 3 is a subset, if we can use the mathematical language. 3 is a subset of 5. 5 contains 3. So if somebody says, I have got 5 apples, that means that person has 3 apples. You cannot ask that person, oh, you have 5 apples, but do you have 3 apples? That means you have lost your marbles. So if somebody has 5 apples, they have 3 apples. So whatever is a superset contains subsets. Okay. So there is something called sublation, where you take a concept and you make it inferior or subservient or inclusive of inclusive in another concept. For example, we have this very famous joke of a person going to a house and asking, oh, do you have children? Then they say yes. And then say, are you married? So in the Indian context, of course, that doesn't make sense, because you usually get married and then have children. In the traditional Indian context, that is how it is. So that kind of question doesn't make any sense. So if you say, did you see the snake? Then I say, yes, I saw the snake. So in the illusion, in the stock example of snake and rope, where you mistake rope for snake, you wrongly perceive snake in the place of rope. If somebody were to ask, did you see snake? Then you say, yes, I saw snake. Then the person asks, but did you see the rope? So that's ridiculous. If I see snake, how can I see rope? Or if I see rope, how can I say snake? So actually the rope has been sublated and snake is seen. Or the wrong cognition of snake is forgotten because of switching on of light or something, and rope is seen. So this we have to understand. Now here, generally what do we say in other systems of philosophy? We say that we are now taking the example of shell and silver. Because of the glitter in shell, we mistake it to be silver. That is the idea. The shell glitters and so we think it is silver. And because of its whiteness also, we think it is silver. And it is glittering. And they said all that glitters is not gold. They did not say silver. So that is why this glitter, we confuse it with silver. And when we confuse it with silver, so what is happening here? Actually, in the place of shell, we are sublating it with, means we are making it inferior to silver. The shell, we are making it inferior to silver. Because in the first place, we are not perceiving the shell at all. So shell is not there. Instead of that, what is superimposed there? Silver. This is what generally we say. And what we say that you see, this silver is not functional. this silver is not functional. That means you cannot take this silver and make ornaments. You cannot, because there is no silver. Just like you cannot drink the water in mirage and quench your thirst. So this is not functional. So what does it mean? That means the silver which you see in the shell is not corresponding to the function of silver which we actually see, or the water which we see in mirage is not corresponding to the water which we actually see, because that water you can touch, you can drink, and the function of quenching your thirst, etc., is removed. So that is called, so that means this, that is why this is illusion. If there was shell and you saw silver and then you took the silver, and if you could make ornaments, then there would have been no illusion. Illusion comes because that function is lacking. There is no function. There is no function. The silver is not functioning there. So you see a person and that person appears to be very bright in the sense of very intelligent. But then when you talk to that person, you understand that you have made a big mistake. That person talks and then you understand that light travels faster than sound. You see, that is why a person appears very intelligent until that person opens one mouth. So that is why light travels faster than sound. So this you understand. Why? Then you compare it with the function of that brightness. Then you see, this function of intelligence is not there. Similarly, silver is not functional. So it is called Arthakriya Asamvada Abhava. Arthakriya Asamvada Abhava. So there is no accordance with the function of the object. There is no correspondence or accordance with the function of the object. In our case, it is silver. So though we see, because of the glitter and whiteness, we see silver in shell, but actually there is no connection with the function of the objective silver. Now every time we see a silver, something silver, we see and identify it because of glitter and whiteness. Every time we do that. So if you go to Rajasthan or those places, Western India, you will see something which is called in popular parlance white metal. It looks exactly like silver. You get beautiful statuettes and figurines made out of that metal. But is that silver? It is not silver. But seeing that you can immediately, the same color, same glitter, everything, then you have to take it to the jeweler's shop, and then the jeweler will take it and scratch it and then say, no, this is not silver, this is white metal. So you see, in practical day-to-day dealings also, we see whiteness, we see glitter, and then we recognize it to be silver. But there is no illusion, because the function of silver corresponds with the object. The object has the function of silver. So there is no illusion. There is no illusion. Like water also, because of its flow and because of its colorlessness and because of its cold, we see water. If it is warm water, of course, it will not be cold, but we understand that this is water. And that is how we identify water. So mirage water also, if there is water on road, and if it really there is water on road, how will you know? Unless you go near and you see, you will not know. Mirage, when you go near and analyze, you understand there is no water to begin with. But when there is real water, from a distance, both are the same. They appear same. But the difference is, when there is real water, there is a correspondence between the object and its function. So Artha Kriya Samvada Bhava. will be there, and Artha Kriya Asamvada Abhava will be there. Artha Kriya, sorry, Artha Kriya Samvada Bhava will be there, and when there is the correspondence between the object and its function. But when there is no correspondence or absence of correspondence or accordance of the object and function, it will be Artha means object, Kriya means function. It will be Samvada Abhava, absence of Samvada means accordance, correspondence. So Artha Kriya. So the function and the object, they should correspond. When they don't correspond, then we say that it is illusion, it is adhyasa. This is how we see this in all philosophies except in Atmakhyati, except in the case of Vijnanavadins. What is Vijnanavadin? They say, their theory of error, their Khyativada is Atmakhyati Vada. Atmakhyati. So what do they say? They say that the object which is superimposed, that is cognitive in nature. The object which is superimposed is cognitive in nature. That means, what are you superimposing? You are superimposing consciousness or cognition or Atman. You are superimposing Vijnana. So Vijnanavadins, they believe in consciousness. So you are superimposing Atma. You are superimposing Atma. So Atma is not unreal, it is real. Atma is real. And so whatever is being superimposed is real. And so there is no sublation there. There is no sublation there. This we have to understand. In Vijnanavadan, it is a little different. So there they say that whenever we experience some object, then that object has to be accepted in that particular form and that particular shape, etc., etc. Because that is how we experience that object. Because that is how we experience that object. So here the point is that the illusion does not take place depending on the object, according to Vijnanavadins, but the illusion takes place on the perception of idamta, thisness. Whenever you see thisness, wherever you see thisness, or wherever you attribute the concept of thisness, that itself is illusion. That itself is illusion. So when you say that this is silver, on proper knowledge you will say this is not silver. When you see mirage water, you will say this is water. On attaining proper knowledge, you will say this is not water. According to Vijnanavadins, it is sufficient that you understand that this is not silver. This is not silver. That means that thisness should go away. That thisness should go away. So here the problem is that there is no need to bring silver at all here. That means the object itself takes a secondary place. The concept of thisness is important in Vijnanavada. So if you can remove thisness, then your cognition becomes correct. If you can remove thisness, then the khyati goes away. Erroneous perception, erroneous knowledge goes away. So the theory of error rests on thisness. The theory of error of Atma Khyati, that is the theory of error of Vijnanavadins, rests on thisness. So this is what Vijnanavada's thing is. We will go into detail into Vijnanavada. Now today we will stop here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.